Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Black Belt Beauty Radio. Today's subject is a really good one. It's a really important one. It's one I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks as I've been grinding, working on some big projects, some amazing products that are going to be coming your way very soon. The process has really, really required my very best of my best, right? So it's like been hardcore, head deep in it, grinding. And, that grind is possible. That hustle, that high performance is possible because I have high level, high performance recovery practices implemented into my day-to-day life. So my goal with this Solosode is to talk about what does that even mean? What is high level, high performance recovery from my perspective? What does it actually look like in my day-to-day life? So kind of giving you behind the scenes on what my day-to-day life looks like and how you can implement some of these practices into your own life if you don't already, or perhaps expand on yours with some of the things that I talk about and share here. So first of all, high performance, high level recovery. What it means to me, you guys, is that you are replenishing and you are nourishing all your energetic channels, mind, you're replenishing your body, you're essentially tuning the vehicle, right? So imagine your performance is, you're the vehicle and you're on a road trip and you're going the distance. I mean, maybe like for me, I feel like I've been on a fucking Formula One Monaco racetrack, it's like hard, fast turns and it's just like there's a lot of velocity coming out of me, And the high performance recovery practices, the high level recovery practices are the food, are the play, it's the meditation, it's the breath work, it's the boundaries that I set up around work. So I'm going to give you what it actually looks like in my day-to-day, implementing these practices with the hope that, some of it if not all of it resonates with you, and you can start to, implement some in your own life. So, a fun way to share what this looks like for me, my day-to-day is I start my day with yin. I go full yang in the center of my day, and then I have a yin finish to my day. So when we think yin is a very restorative, calming, nourishing energy, right? And yang is the fire. It's more intense. It's more, just like it's more demanding of yourself, right? Not a bad thing. It's an awesome thing, but it's like when you're, pedal to the metal, go, right? So the yin part of my day at the start is, it consists of meditation, journaling, a little bit of reading, so mindset priming, really tuning in, getting really dialed into my mind. For those of you who've been tuned into me here for a while, I have a relationship with my future self, my muse. I connect with her when I'm meditating in the morning, and it's just like I really keep these channels and like tune my mind to go in the direction I want to go. I kind of process things that are happening and just surrender and come into this kind of rooting of myself, which then in return elevates myself, right? And then, it's followed with journaling. So it's essentially streamline of consciousness, process, perspective, and just kind of letting it all out, tuning my mind more, rolling ink. And then it consists of foam rolling, a little bit of yoga and stretching to start to just really feel my body, to wake it up with love and to get it ready to fucking go to work, right? So listen, I wake up really early. I go to bed really early. And, I know that everyone's life, everyone's schedule, everyone's home life is different, right? So a lot of you are mothers or fathers, parents, and you've got kids running around and you don't have much time, or, that you live with people and you can't really get into this quiet zone. I get it. What I'm sharing with you is my life. And if there are pieces that you can take that you're like, ooh, that sounds like it would feel good, and maybe I could do this then, or, do this here. I mean, that's the goal. So like, do something that could take these pieces and implement them into your life in your setting to the best of your ability so that you can actually, make it happen. So, after I have this, I wake up in the morning early. So anywhere between, honestly, like 4-ish, 4:30 to on a sleep-in day, it's close to 6. But I also go to bed between 9 and 10. This is really important. And it's, it feels really good for me. I love waking up before the energy of the outside is awake, with the exception of the birds. But even the birds are chilling a lot of times when I'm awake. But, I light a candle. I like to foam roll and do a little bit of my yoga to sound baths. There's some epic ones. I'll put them in the show notes, actually. That's one that I really love. This guy on YouTube who's just this epic sound baths. And I love to do that while I foam roll and take my lacrosse ball. And I really, really root down into my body. And again, this rooting down allows me to like expand and to get really ready to go kick ass. So, once I do all of that, I am ready. I am primed. I'm like eager and excited to fucking go, to hit that gas pedal and just, go into full yang energy. And, after that, it can look like a lot of different things. It could be, running the beach. It could be a high intensity interval training session. It could be lifting weights, but usually it's training. Sometimes I have to put work in front of the training, and it just depends. And that's my life, and it switches all the time, but there's always a consistency even to the changing patterns. It's like you have these ingredients, and sometimes you put, the garlic in while you're cooking. Sometimes you put the garlic in after, making that as an example, right? But the garlic's always there. That's the important piece, right? So, it's just more movement, it's more intensity, and it's high level work, high level focus, airplane mode. That's really, really important. So I'm not social media-ing yet, right? This is not like, I'm still not outside. I'm doing inside work for me, for Roxy. And once I do this stuff and get like, especially around work, the most important piece out of the way, then I can come outside and I'm fully present. I'm fully available. I'm fully just there, right? So the piece that's really important to share here is not the work and all that. It's the recovery piece. It's just how I'm starting my day that is allowing me, that is supporting me to get into this high level performance mode, this yang energy to go through and crush my day. And by crushing my day doesn't mean that I'm nailing everything that I want to nail or it's like a total win, but it does mean this: I'm fucking resilient. I am much more resilient. I am much more strong. There's, challenges that are coming at me, whether it's work, whether it's society, life, I don't know, these days, a lot of that's happening. But because of that morning time that I've offered myself, I am so much more resilient and capable of not being reactionary to it and being more proactive and staying ahead of it, so I can stay in this emotional, strong place, have more emotional discipline and agility to navigate around challenges, right? So, fast forward, yang, kick ass, high performance day. The end piece is actually very important too, right? Because now we're going back into recovery mode. So yin, yang, yin, masculine, feminine energy. That's a big, big through line in my life and even in this brand, Black Belt Beauty. So what that looks like for me, again, this is my life and I know yours is going to be different. It means this: there's a certain period before I start to shut down, or when I shut down to get ready for sleep and just do my quiet Zen evening ritual time, where I just, I have like a hard stop with work. So I am not the work till midnight in front of my blue light computer. Like that's not me. No, it's not me. And it's not because I'm not a grinder. I'm a fucking grinder, but I understand this. That's going to affect my tomorrow. And every single day I want to do better. Every single day I want to feel good as I'm in this process of doing better. I don't want to be chipping away at my health just to get the thing done. I'm okay if it gets done a little bit later with full respect to deadlines. But again, here's the thing. It's so interesting because I know that I'm able to hit deadlines. I know that I'm able to feel good in this process and to not become, a mess and not to get sick or unhealthy because of these high-level, high-performance recovery practices that are implemented with consistency, the boundaries are respected. I don't fuck with that, because I know that in the big picture, in the long game, if I do that, if I don't have respect for these boundaries, if I'm not being consistent with this, sure, maybe I'll be able to like go the distance at full force for a period of time, but I'm not going to be able to go for a longer period of time. And B, I'm probably not going to feel as good throughout that process. And for me, it's really, really important to feel as good as I possibly can in the process. I'm not in the business of wearing myself down just to get shit done. Because I believe that if you're smart, if you're intelligent, and you're consistent, you can actually have both. You can get shit done on a high level and you can feel good in the process. That's what this is all about. So, for me, my, yin closure to the night looks like, eating dinner early. I sleep early, so I like to be digested before I sleep. I just feel better personally that way. So dinner could be anywhere from 4:30 on a later day, 6 o'clock. I like to get a little walking in after my dinner. Probably a good place to put this into circadian rhythm. So in the morning, I make sure that after I do, the foam rolling and, all the stuff that I just shared, I get outside and I take in full spectrum light. So not looking directly at the sun. To be honest, the sun isn't necessarily even fully there yet, but that the sky, you have this full spectrum light, and it's so good for circadian rhythm, which supports a healthy immune system, cognition, energy. It's a really important piece. And if you can do that, I really recommend doing that. Just getting outside and looking up at the sky, not at the sun if the sun is out, and allowing this full spectrum light, your eyes to take in this full spectrum light, right? And then we also get vitamin D, which, I think is a lot more, a lot of you, I'm sure, are very well aware that, this vitamin, which is actually a steroid hormone, is like the fucking gangster of vitamins for your body in support of your health and longevity. So anyways, won't rabbit hole that for you right now, but get your full spectrum light. Going back to the yin energy at night ritual, I'm on a walk. I like to, if I can do it in the backyard at the beach, I'm doing it because I can be barefoot and get the negative charge from the earth, which is really, really supportive to your nervous system. It'll help get out of the sympathetic state, which is, fight or flight, where most of us are living, especially these days, and put you into the parasympathetic state, right? And so it's also going to support circulation. It's going to support better sleep. I mean, this is all proven. There's research that proves this. You can Google this and look it up. It's called earthing or grounding. So I understand that not all of you are going to have beach as your backyard, but if you have grass, if you have mud, dirt, put your bare feet in there, get the light 2 hours around sunset. That's also another important time to get light to help your circadian rhythm be really healthy. So that is another step that I do. And it's also time where I get to really just process everything that I did in the day, reflect, perhaps think about things that I want to be doing in my tomorrow. But it's just this it's like I did all this like outward work, right? And now I'm just kind of coming back into myself. And this time, a lot of you who follow me on Instagram, you see me talk about this. I invite you oftentimes when I'm doing it, like to take in some me time. It's really, really, it's a beautiful practice. It's a self-love practice, self-care action step that stems from self-love, right? So getting the walk in, getting some grounding in if you can, getting that the light around sunset. This is really going to help you to sleep better. And sleep is probably the number one high performance tool that exists, period. If we are not sleeping well, we're not going to be able to perform at our highest level, period. And I have so much respect for, new parents or, parents that just had a baby, because I don't, that shit, that's at me. I don't have a baby, but I know because so many of my closest have babies, including my family. And yeah, there is, that moment where your baby is, not allowing you to have that, full rested sleep. And, any parent would say in that experience, you're right. It definitely, it affects memory. It affects, your blood sugar levels. It affects your energy levels, period. So I don't want to go too far there, but I'm just driving home the point that getting optimal sleep is such an important piece to high level, high performance actions, to be able to perform at your highest level. So, um, going back to my Zen, what that looks like. So I don't have bright lights. I have these pink Himalayan sea salt lamps. They're epic, you guys. They have this soft pink, really relaxing, think spa type glow. You can get them on Amazon, really cheap. And I like candles. And that's it for the light in my house in the evening. I don't have electronics in my bedroom. I take a hot shower every night. That helps to regulate my temperature in a way that optimizes my sleep. I blackout drapes. And, this really helps me to get into a high level of recovery in my sleep. I love to drink a 4-sigmatic reishi tea. Reishi is a very, very potent adaptogen mushroom. It's so good for your immune system, and just it's so calming and relaxing. And my little treat is putting on a Joe Rogan podcast and watching it. I don't watch TV except for the UFC. I love taking in Joe Rogan's podcast, little bits of it before bed. I don't social media. It's just like this quiet time for me. And again, I know that all of you have different lives, and maybe you have partners and you have, kids. And so again, I'm just giving you ideas and giving you a behind the scenes look at, what this essentially it's like this toggling, between, high level recovery, high performance activity, high performance recovery looks like in my life. Okay. So why this is so important, well, I think you know by now from taking in this episode so far, but I want to just drive home this point. I want to drive home the point that, I know you guys are here because you want the best from yourself and for yourself. And I think so often it's easy to push off these practices, right? Because we get so, stuck on the doing of like effort and, the push pull and like, this has to get done. No, I have a deadline. No. And we often think too, that like a recovery has to look like this big break, like I, talked about earlier, but it just doesn't. I always say inches make the mile. And what feels so good for me personally in my life is, I wake up every day and I don't feel like, oh, I just want to stay in bed longer. I don't have that feeling. And I don't have it because I rested well. Even on days where my sleep wasn't that great, I still rested and I feel like I want to get up and I want to start living again. So it's like this vitality that is so robust in me. And the reason for that is because I am constantly every single day implementing these practices of recovery. There's an incredible neuroscientist who I cannot wait to get on this podcast. I haven't met him yet, but I will get him on the podcast for you. Maybe, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know who he is, but Andrew Huberman. And I remember listening to one of his talks where he said, high performers understand this. They know they toggle back and forth between high level recovery and high performance activities, right? And focus. And I remember immediately thinking like, shit, like my thought was like, I don't take naps in the day, so am I getting that recovery? And then I zoomed out, I was like, Rox, your every day is this toggling back and forth because of everything that I just shared with you guys, what my, the yin to the yang to the yin, right? And so, when I thought deeper about it, I'm like, yeah, this just makes so much sense because it's, again, let's go back to the car analogy. It's like, I make sure that before I start driving my car and, putting on the road or on this, Formula One racetrack, because that's really what my life feels like, I make sure that everything is tuned up and ready to go to stay it like on that track and be able to perform on that, racetrack at the highest level. And when I'm done, I make sure that, all the tires are checked and tuned and the gas is there. So everything is setting me up for the next day and also allowing me to process everything that just, took place in the day. Diet's an important piece here, man. You need to eat foods that are genuinely supporting cellular health, right? This is really important. This is, you are a walking, living blend of organs and cells and, mitochondria and like all kinds of things. And like, if you're not replenishing your body with nutritious foods, how are you going to perform at high levels? And I will tell you, I know this firsthand because, in my earlier years of life, I ate Taco Bell. Like I wasn't eating the way that I've been eating for forever now, So I can genuinely tell you, I know the difference. I know the difference of the clarity in my mind. I know the difference of the food, the way it's impacted my nervous system, the way that I am actually more resilient in my mind, specifically because of the foods that I eat in addition to everything else. But the food plays a huge role in it, right? So I think it's important to implement that. What do you start your day with food wise? Is it some sugary, carby thing that's going to get you to go up and then crash? Or is it, something that is more nourishing that's going to sustain your energy levels? How you start your day genuinely impacts the rest of your day. And I'm not saying that, oh, you can have a great morning and that means that you're going, like you do all your self-care, this morning ritual, all the recovery practice. And so you're guaranteed to have a kick-ass day. I'm not saying that at all. Oftentimes I can have an amazing morning doing all the things. And then I get like sucker punch or whatever, like shit comes at me. I will tell you this, if I didn't have this practice in the morning, I know I would never be able, with consistency, my ability to be more resilient with these sucker punches and with the challenges that come with just being alive, in addition to being, an entrepreneur and all that, I wouldn't be able to handle it the way that I do. And handling the load is really important. How you process, like how are you moving through your life with the load that you carry? Are you doing it like a mess? Are you falling apart at the seams? Is it making you sick? Are you an asshole to the people you love or people in general? This is really important, right? So I really believe that, having a strong morning practice first and foremost is going to help set you up to feel better and to perform better throughout the rest of your day. And here's the thing, your days turn into weeks and your weeks turn into months and your months turn into your life. So it's really, really important. So on that note, you guys, I'm going to share with you, and I wanted to create this because I swear, when I have conversations around the subject of like morning rituals and morning routines and just feeling good and performing well, I feel like one thing that has been so consistent is a lot of people feel like they don't have the time in the morning to dedicate to some kind of practice that's going to set them up, prime their mind, all of the things I just talked about. So what I created is a free 10-minute morning ritual download for you that you can get on blackbeltbeauty.com. And it consists of a 5-minute guided meditation. It's a little bit more than 5 minutes, but it's mostly music after that. So the guidance is 5 minutes long. And then a downloadable PDF action checklist that will help to keep you developing this habit of a morning practice, a morning ritual for yourself. So, there's some mantras in there, some journal prompts, some, directive thoughts, intentional eating prompts in there for you. And the goal is just to help you build this habit. And then you can build off it, right? Like this 10 minutes can turn into 30 minutes if you've got it or whatever, but the goal is to help you create this practice because I know firsthand how fucking powerful it is to have a practice like this. And, it's a statement that you also say to yourself. Like if you don't have 10 minutes for yourself, I mean, that's an important thing. That's like a whole nother podcast conversation, right? 10 minutes just for you. If you got to wake up earlier to do it, if you need to put on headphones and lock yourself in a room to do it, whatever that is. But, it's a beautiful statement to tell yourself, hey, you know what? I'm fucking worth it. I want to feel my best. I want to perform my best. So I'm going to give myself this 10 minutes of time to just set me up to do my best in my day. That's my hope, in creating this free 10-minute ritual for you guys, that you actually implement it into your day if you don't have a practice already, or even if you do. There's a 5-minute, guided meditation waiting for you along with the PDF. Anyways, you guys, I gave a lot of information here, and I hope that, some of it really resonated and that you can take away some, if not all, the practices and implement them or add them to your own practices. And, ultimately the goal here is to remind you that, inches make the mile. Do not overlook these practices that you can implement into your everyday that will nourish you, that will help you recover, that will replenish you, such to that you can perform and feel better in your life. Last piece I'll say here is that a lot of you see me who follow me on Instagram. You see me a lot of times, like I do my hardcore runs. Like, how do I finish? I'm always in the ocean playing, play, 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 play. This is an important piece here. It's a form of recovery. It's when you get to really just like release yourself from yourself, and, giggle and laugh. And whether that's alone with yourself, like me on the beach, a lot of times, just like frolic in the ocean, or it's with friends, or family, loved ones, where you can just like be outside or do whatever you need to do to just implement some kind of play. This is so, so supportive to recovery. It really helps to give you the feel good hormones, serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, and this stuff is really powerful in terms of recovering and helping you to sustain more high performance activities throughout your life. So again, I want to really recommend checking out Andrew Huberman. I have him in the show notes. Go down rabbit holes of his talks. He's incredible. He's an incredible follow on Instagram. I can't wait to get him on the show for you guys. He has some breathing techniques in there that are super applicable. Like, they're just easy to start doing now, right? So it's a big subject, but hopefully I gave you some pieces that you can take from this talk where you can start putting them into practice. And I would love to know, if you do that, I'd love to know how it makes you feel. Like, is it supporting you? How is it supporting you? This is a conversation that continues more often than not in my DMs on Instagram, Roxy Look or Black Belt Beauty. I love hearing from you guys. I love knowing, what you really resonated with you about these episodes and what you've actually implemented into your own life, and how that's affecting you. It's so rad to get that feedback from you guys and to further support you to the best of my ability, in that space. So you guys, I really hope that you go blackbeltbeauty.com. Right there at the top of the homepage, get your free 10-minute morning ritual. Implement it, or however you want to, if it's just the meditation or whatever it is. Talk to me on Instagram. Let me know what you think. And you guys, keep kicking ass. I love being here with you. I'm always here to support you at higher levels. If you have suggestions of topics you want me to break down for you, let me know, and I will do my very best to make it happen. If I'm stuttering on words, that means, girl, time to go move. I'm going to go hit a run right now, and then I'm going to play in the ocean. You guys, I love you, and I'll catch you on the next one.